function like domesticated animals or servants to power, or the corrupt power structures and centralized bureaucracies. There are things more important than economic outcomes and serving the agenda of skilled liars, gatekeepers, and politicians. We are not children that you can terrorize into obedience. Socially approved behavior does not make it right. Example, long time ago, people were sold as slaves. Not so long ago, racism, homophobia, child abuse were all accepted and approved behaviors in society. And, increasing social control is not increasing community engagement, which is the purported and supposed goal of COAB and COCOL. COAB meetings need to be functional, meaningful, and enjoyable. Not a place where activists are in fear of going to jail or mentally ill people are triggered. I actually can tell you that a lot of people with mental illness have been triggered recently through these COAB meetings, including near suicide attempts, okay? And this isn't something I made up. This is people I know with mental illnesses that are being triggered through the activity, the gaslighting, the slandering, and the way that they are being dealt with by COAB. When you have people with mental illnesses that start attending meetings and then they're being triggered into practically attempting to kill themselves, where their friends have to grab knives out of their hands, that's a big problem, okay? If that's the type of environment that COAB is, where mentally ill people go there and they are so triggered by the traumatic experience of COAB that they're talking about ending their lives and grabbing knives and stuff, that's a real problem, And when they're talking about maybe, this is a conversation I had with someone, maybe if I would have committed suicide, then it would have exposed all this stuff about COAB and what it really is, When you have people that are just willing to throw their lives away, basically, because they're so triggered by a COAB meeting, that's a real problem,
I have a clarifying question. Could you tell me what would a good COAB meeting look like?
One that is functional, meaningful, and enjoyable.
What would it take to get there?
Basically, you have to allow for the community to speak, and if they go over time, to just kind of deal with it and maybe work at de-escalating things instead of making them worse. And when you have the police and security agencies and other people that are just waiting to take community members out because they've been a little disruptive, that's not a good course, Joe Walsh, he was on the floor for 30 minutes or whatever, and he didn't go to jail, and then he got to speak, and, maybe that was a lot better than people going out in handcuffs, So basically, I just think that it needs to be a process where mentally ill people feel, and members of the community actually feel like it's a more meaningful process that's actually working towards real change. And if there's a lot of people that are viewed as gatekeepers and people that are padding their resume, or people that are assigned by the police to the process, and that it's more just a dog and pony show and a management of public perception more than actual real change, then I'd actually like to see the police be less of a roadblock to the process and actually try and, you know, transform the police into something that could actually serve maybe as a role model for other police departments. I mean, I've actually dealt with a lot of police in a lot of places, and I gotta say it, a lot of them are a lot worse. And the Portland police might have a lot of problems, but they are a lot better than a lot of police departments, and I'll give them that much. But there's a lot of room for improvement. And, you know, a lot of people brought up various things today, like that, you know, people don't